Haliburton. He'll take it. He'll backpedal, a three for the win, and he got it!
There's a certain kind of roar that rolls through an arena when a shot leaves Tyrese Haliburton's fingertips in the closing seconds. It isn't a cheer, it's a collective gasp. Half disbelief, half certainty that the ball is about to rip through the net. Just a few weeks ago, that same player was branded the NBA's most overrated in an anonymous poll of his own peers, pulling 14% of the vote. Today, those whispers sound like yesterday's bad joke. With 4 playoff daggers in one spring, including a finals winner with 0.3 seconds left, the latest championship stage buzzer beater since Michael Jordan in 1997, Haliburton is rewriting the very definition of clutch. But greatness never arrives fully formed. To understand how a skinny kid from Oshkosh transformed a small market franchise into a finals headline, you have to trace 8 pivots, moments that should have broken him, yet somehow hardened him into the league's most daring point guard. April 22nd, 2025, The Athletic releases its annual player survey. Beneath categories like Best Trash Talker and Coach You'd Most Want, one line sets X ablaze. Most overrated, Tyrese Haliburton. The verdict lands during first-round prep, and social feeds hiss with laughter emoji hot takes. Haliburton's response is a shrug and a 6-word promise. I guess we'll see real soon. 2 nights later, he tears Milwaukee's heart out with a baseline floater over Giannis at the Horn, tilting the series in Indiana's favor. Suddenly, overrated reads more like a dare than a label. But the slight isn't the start of his story. It's just the match that lights everything he's carried for years. Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Population 66,000. 1 movie theater, and 0 illusions about flashing lights. Tyrese grows up running full-court games on a church hardwood no recruiter ever visits. His AAU squad is the neighborhood crew, not one of the sneaker circuit juggernauts. Until late August before his senior year, not a single power conference coach calls. ESPN finally lists him as a 3-star and misspells his last name for 2 weeks. By then, he's already committed verbally to Northern Iowa. Figuring mid-major glory is still glory. Iowa State swoops in with a late scholarship, but nothing else about his path suddenly becomes easy. Greatness, he decides, is a long-distance climb, easier to start when no one's watching. Ames, Iowa, 2018. Haliburton is penciled in as a redshirt project, meant to gain pounds in the weight room while vets soak up minutes. 2 games in, an injury forces head coach Steve Prohm to toss the freshman into the lineup. He responds with 7 assists, 2 steals, and a knack for steering teammates into open layups like chess pieces. Scouts notice. By season's end, he's on the Under-19 World Cup roster, sharing the backcourt with Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green, and Scotty Barnes. The confidence he steals from that summer is priceless. If those guys scream NBA, maybe the league also speaks my dialect. Sophomore year lifts him onto lottery boards, 15 points, 6.5 dimes, 40% from deep, until a fractured wrist in February halts everything and COVID wipes out the rest. 2 shocks, 1 physical, 1 global, yet the dream still pulses beneath the cast. Draft night 2020 didn't feel like a celebration so much as a test of patience. Inside the virtual green room, Haliburton squeezed onto a couch with his parents and 2 brothers, while a single ring light glared overhead. He'd spent the previous week on Zoom interviews, calmly explaining to front offices why his slingshot release wasn't a fatal flaw. Analyst dialogue looped in the background. You love his IQ, but can you build around that jumper? He lacks burst. Can he turn the corner on NBA athletes? Meanwhile, numbers whispered a different truth. In his last 20 college games, he hit 42% from 3 off the dribble, ranked in the 94th percentile for transition efficiency, and graded out with a 3-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio the Synergy database called historic. Still, the lottery unfolded like a slow leak. Patrick Williams' name surprised Chicago at number 4. Cleveland reached for Isaac Okoro at 5. Every time a commissioner's card flipped, Tyrese's agent turned and mouthed, "Maybe next." Sacramento finally broke the freefall at pick 12 after the Spurs, Suns, and Wizards all balked. In one clip that still circulates on NBA Twitter, you can see Tyrese clapping for the camera, then glancing sideways at a family member with a look that says, "Remember this feeling." Draft models later showed the Kings had landed the Knights' best value versus slot prospect. Yet the bigger lesson was stamped on Haliburton's own draft night sneakers, handwritten in silver Sharpie down the heel, "Let them doubt." The promise of a Fox and Haliburton backcourt lasted roughly 18 months. First year in Sacramento. Tyrese embraced every civic duty. He showed up unannounced at youth clinics in Elk Grove, donated laptops to Oak Park after-school programs, and agreed to read Dr. Seuss over Zoom to elementary classes. Kings fans dubbed him Good Vibes Governor. On court, he finished second to LaMelo Ball in Roti voting, hitting 40% from deep and running a brutal two-man game with Richaun Holmes. Analysts talked about pace plus poise, a pairing that might finally drag Sacramento out of a 15-year postseason grave. February 8, 2023, the Kings sat 20-36, hemorrhaging late-game leads. GM Monty McNair believed Fox and Haliburton duplicated rather than complemented each other. Sabonis, he reasoned, could anchor an inside-out attack and accelerate a playoff push. Haliburton found out via a Woj tweet, then watched his phone buzz with condolences from teammates who also thought he was untouchable. 30 minutes later, McNair called, voice thin, rehearsed, confirming the deal. Shock turned to determination during the red-eye to Indianapolis. Tyrese opened his laptop, cued Carlisle's favorite sets, and spent the flight diagramming how he could weaponize Miles Turner's pick-and-pop range. New life in Indy. Kevin Pritchard met him on the tarmac with a simple greeting. "We've been waiting for our engine." Minutes later, a Pacers staffer handed over an iPad titled Haliburton Era Playbook. He repaid the faith immediately. Debut line, 23 points, 6 boards, 7 assists, 0 turnovers. Locker room vibe, electric. Veteran TJ McConnell joked, "I've never seen so many open shots in my life." The 5-year, $260 million extension that summer wasn't just money. It was a public declaration that Indiana planned to build everything, from practice facility tech to community outreach, around Tyrese's vision. Fans see the no-look lasers. Coaches see the math. Stat heads see the geometry. Every possession seems to begin one beat earlier for Tyrese. He manipulates weak-side defenders with eye fakes, freezing them just long enough to back-cut a wing or squeeze a pocket pass. Carlisle calls it tempo theft. His jumper, once labeled funky, now terrifies defenses. 46% from 3 on 8.3 attempts with a release time of 0.39 seconds, quicker than Curry's rookie-year mechanics. Synergy ranked him first in pick-and-roll passer rating, third in transition efficiency, and second in clutch isolation true shooting. Cleaning the glass logged a plus 17.8 net rating swing when he's on the court. Indiana's roster was purpose-built for pace. Turner as rim protector, pop threat, Ben Mathurin and Aaron Nesmith as lane fillers, and Andrew Nembhard as a secondary creator. The result, league-leading 22.1 fast break points per night. Carlisle simplified reads. First hitter gets the screen, second option streaks corner. If nothing's clean by 14 on the clock, Tyrese helicopter pilots. In plain English, trust him to improvise. By March 2025, the Pacers topped every public offensive metric, points per 100, assist percent, effective field goal. Haliburton became the first guard since Oscar Robertson to average 25 points and 11 assists on 50-40-90 splits. The path to the finals was littered with giants. Nearly every pre-series preview had Indiana folding early. Round 1. Giannis and Dame had crushed the regular season schedule, ranking second in defensive rating and third in clutch net rating. ESPN's expert panel predicted Bucks in 5. Only Kendrick Perkins dared pick Indiana, citing the Haliburton effect. Games 1 and 2 split in Milwaukee. Analysts said Indiana's Game 2 win was a fluke. Giannis won't miss 9 free throws again. Bankers Life Fieldhouse, final possession. Pacers down 1. Haliburton ghosts off a Turner flare, snakes baseline. Teardrops a floater inches beyond Giannis's outstretched fingertips. Buzzer, crowd detonation. Series momentum flips. Indiana takes it in 6, outscoring Milwaukee by 42 points in clutch time. Round 2. Cleveland boasted the league's stingiest defense, anchored by Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen. Pundits, the paint will swallow Indiana alive. Predictive models gave Pacers a 31% chance. Cavs fans printed overrated rally towels for Game 1. Game 6, Pacers up 3-2 but trailing 98-97 with 9 seconds. Haliburton crosses half-court leisurely, then detonates a step back from the O in the Rocket Mortgage logo. Swish. He turns before it lands, finger to lips. Pacers close the series that night. East Finals. Madison Square Garden pulsated with hope. Brunson, Randall, and a top-5 defense fever dreamed of the franchise's first finals since 1999. Betting lines had Knicks -170 to advance. Game 1 goes to overtime. Knicks lead by 2, 3.7 seconds left. Haliburton uses a stagger screen, spins, lofts a 12-footer over Josh Hart. Bucket. He jogs back, flashing Reggie Miller's iconic choke sign at Spike Lee, echoes of '95. Knicks scratch out 2 wins, but Tyrese averages 34/12 on 61%, shooting the other 4 games. Indiana clinches in 6. NBA Finals. Thunder's youthful core, Shea, Chet, J-Dub, captivated the league. National outlets hyped OKC's Destiny season, citing switch everything length and homegrown continuity. 10 of 11 ESPN voices picked Thunder. Game 1. Pacers trail by 15 with 4:18 left. Tyrese engineers an 18-2 burst. Last play, Turner fakes a handoff. Haliburton curls, hoists a drifting 21-footer with 0.3 on the clock. Network stunned silence in Paycom Center. He repeats heroics in Game 4 and Game 6, finishing the finals with 4 30-plus, 10-assist outings, and the second highest clutch true shooting mark ever recorded in the championship round. Pacers hoist their first NBA banner in 7 games. Haliburton becomes the 5th guard in history to average 30/12 in a finals, joining Magic, Oscar, West, and Jordan. Titles recalibrate everything, but context cements legacy. Tyrese is now the face of a franchise that hadn't sniffed June basketball since Reggie Miller's prime. Season ticket demand spiked 175% within 48 hours of the parade announcement. Local econ forecasts predict a Haliburton halo effect worth $180 million in downtown revenue over 5 years. Stylistically, analysts compare his command to mid-prime Steve Nash, but with deep-range volume, Nash never attempted, and with switchable length that washes out cross-matches on the other end. Off the court, he's already pledged to renovate 30 Indiana community courts by 2030, each painted in Pacers blue and stamped with his own mantra, "Play with joy." Hall of Fame projection models, Basketball Reference, K-Bref AI, clock his current probability at 63%, identical to Steph Curry after Steph's first ring. The final interview of the season goes viral. Asked what's next, he grins, shrugs, and says, "I kind of like proving people wrong. Please keep doubting me." And that's the paradox at the heart of Tyrese Haliburton's ascent. The more evidence he provides, the more motivating he finds any remaining skepticism. He isn't merely rewriting a franchise script. He's re-engineering how today's league values vision, voice, and velocity in the same 6'5" frame. So if you're still inclined to call him overrated, choose your timing wisely, because by the time the next buzzer sounds, odds are the narrative will have spun yet again, signed by the trace of another impossible shot and sealed with that mischievous half-smile that suggests he knew it would happen all along. Legacy still loading, but the download bar just jumped to 99%.